Welcome, everybody, to your favorite pro wrestling podcast. This is The Rope Break. I am your host, Jeff Wolf, and I'm alongside, as always, with my co-host, Eric Loves Willow to Death, Vanek.
Hashtag heel.
Hashtag heel. All right.
Fucking hate Willow.
We have a big show, like a really big show. Bigger than I would want of a show today. We have a lot to talk about, especially because of the amazing TNA pay-per-view that went over against the weekend. So we're going to talk about that.
There was a TNA pay-per-view?
Yeah, there was lockdown. It was epic. There was a hand that was involved, and there was a screw job. There's a lot of stuff that didn't make any sense. You'll know more about that since you are our resident TNA expert.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of stuff to go over. We got to go over everything that happened in the world of pro wrestling this week with Raw, SmackDown, and Impact, alongside with NXT now, which makes the show even longer, as well as we have three main topics we wanted to bring up today that we like to call the Big Three, and we're going to get right into it, which will kind of spoil some stuff. So maybe I should say ahead of time, if you don't want to be spoiled about WrestleMania, I know in this day and age with the internet and everything, it's like you're going to get spoiled at some point. But a report came out this week about it was an internal list of top 5 superstars that the WWE will be kind of focused on after WrestleMania. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about that first. We're going to go down the list from 5 to 1. It says it's not in any order. Well, actually, it does say it is in this order, so that's good that we are going to do 5 to 1. I don't like the list at all, especially for one person on this list. And I'm sure after you hear the list, you'll know exactly what one person I'm talking about.
I already know who it is.
I'm sure you already know. He just bright red. He just pops out at me like a freaking firecracker.
He's like a lobster head.
Yeah, he is like a lobster head. All right, but number 5, which is not a big surprise, maybe of where he is on this list, but it's not a big surprise. Number 5 is Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns, to me, has been obviously the guy that they've been focusing on for the last, basically since Royal Rumble. So it's not a surprise that he comes in at this spot. What do you think of number 4?
Number 4 was, who was that again?
Number 4 is Sheamus.
Oh, Sheamus. I know, your favorite.
Which, how the heck is he even on this list?
I mean, let's face it, he's a big star for them.
Is he a big star, or is he Triple H's buddy?
It's tough to say. I mean, like you.
Are you going to try to tell me that Bray Wyatt doesn't deserve to be on?
No, because I'm pissed Bray's not on there.
Okay, because I was really pissed when I saw this.
If I had to choose somebody, I would probably take Sheamus out and put Bray in, but I just think Sheamus is talented, no doubt about it. I mean, I'm already kind of sick of Orton again. It's like, just get another wellness policy violation and leave for a little bit.
Which he's number 3. Randy Orton comes in as number 3 at this list, which isn't a huge surprise. It's interesting of someone that isn't on this list, though.
Yeah, and Bray's not on there, which is surprising, but number 3 was Orton. Number 2 and number 1 are the obvious, Daniel Bryan and John Cena.
Yeah, which Daniel Bryan obviously has to be on this list. Especially with just the backing he has from the fans is absolutely insane. It's only comparable to a couple people ever, really. Like he's getting bigger pops than CM Punk got after his pipe bombs.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this: speaking of CM Punk, if he was in the company still, what 2 would you take off this list? Because obviously CM Punk would be on there. And you had to add Bray. It's like, I mean, I know you would take off Orton and Sheamus, but if you're WWE,
I don't think I would. That's very difficult. If you put those 2 back into the mix, obviously I take out Sheamus. I think Sheamus definitely doesn't belong on this list. But I keep Roman. You have to keep Randy right now because he is one of the faces of the company. He's obviously the world champion.
And you have to keep.
What's odd is Batista's not on this list, though.
Well, that was what the main problem with the report was. A lot of people were shocked because Batista's not on there. Yeah. But, okay, you just said it yourself. You'd have Roman, Randy, and Daniel Bryan on there. Mm-hmm. And obviously you want CM Punk and Bray Wyatt on there.
But you couldn't, because you have to have Cena on this list too. Like, you're not going to.
Exactly. So, I mean, who would you cut off? It's like a no-win situation, this whole list.
No, it's a no-win. It's weird because with all the attention they've been giving Bray Wyatt, you would think Bray would deserve on this list, but CM Punk is obviously the more marketable guy. So you would have to have Punk on this list, and you would have to cut out Bray, which is crazy for me to say. But it's realistically, that's just true. That's just how it is.
Yeah. I mean, I see where they're going with Sheamus. I mean, Sheamus has been there. He's a veteran. He's still got, a lot of time.
See, I don't get it, honestly.
I don't know. It's just some people like him, some people don't. I like him personally, but I mean, I'm not a super fan. But
it's not even that I'm like a mark or something, and I can't see what's good and what's bad. Like, I see Roman Reigns, I see the Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and I see John Cena. I see all the reasons for that. Sheamus, to me, is just, it's a filler spot. And the fact that he's ahead of Roman Reigns in this list is even more bizarre to me.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. We'll see how things go. I mean, I can't predict it. So
and obviously things change within the WWE, and this is the people that will lead the company, so to speak, after WrestleMania 30. So we'll see how true this is. It'll be fun to maybe revisit this topic in a couple months after WrestleMania and see just how true this is.
Yeah.
And then
you remember that.
Yeah. I'll try to remember that. And then another thing is that we wanted to talk about along with one of these people, number 2, Daniel Bryan. We as the fans finally got the at least the start of the payoff that we deserve, and that we all think we do deserve. And Daniel Bryan is going to get his match against Triple H at WrestleMania, with the added stipulation that if he does win, then he gets put into the WrestleMania main event with Batista and Randy Orton for the title.
Mm-hmm.
And so my big question is, do you think that Vince is going to just, or anyone in management is really going to just play this off as this was the plan all along?
It wouldn't shock me. I mean, it's WWE. They'll come up with anything. It's really hard to say. I mean, they could have been planning this all along, and I mean, I just really find it hard to believe that, oh no, the internet people want us to do this, we better go do this. They've never done that, so it's like, I don't really know what to believe here. I really don't.
And the thing with the whole Daniel Bryan situation is that you can't, as a company,
deny that he doesn't deserve it. He does.
No, he absolutely deserves it, and you can't say that the WWE just has to do what the fans want. But this is so strong, and it's like anyone that can take a step back and just see like the total picture and like the whole story coming together. Like, this is what had to happen. Like, for all the times that he got screwed over and everything, it's like there has to be a payoff. I mean, in professional wrestling, at least in the not so older days, like in the 90s and whatever, there were stories that would come full circle. And this is one of those kind of stories that, if it was planned this way, is genius. I don't think it was, though. I don't think.
Well, the one thing about it that I don't like, I mean, obviously I like it. I'm going to like it and support it 100%. The one thing I just don't like is me and you both know the outcome of this already. So there's not really that surprise of, is he really going to do it? Is he not? You know he's going to do it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
This is his moment. It's going to be a great moment. It's going to be right up there with Eddie Guerrero winning the title at WrestleMania and Benoit winning the title at WrestleMania and all that. It's going to be right up there with that kind of a moment. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be all that. And he deserves it 100%. It just sucks that I know it's coming. I would rather be surprised.
Yeah, it's going to be a WrestleMania moment. It's going to be his WrestleMania moment, and it's going to be retribution for Lobsterhead beating him in 5 seconds at a WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it does suck that it's something that we know, like, as it was happening, as the whole movement was happening, it was exciting, but at the same time, you know exactly what's going to happen now for WrestleMania in the main event, unless they screw job him again, which would be, oh my gosh, people would absolutely riot if they screw job him at WrestleMania now.
Yeah.
And talking about WrestleMania, the other thing that we wanted to talk about was they're pushing for a couple certain people to be at WrestleMania, and they've gotten everyone involved except for one man, and that one man is Stone Cold Steve Austin, which they have. It's kind of been like just like the whole goal every single WrestleMania, it seems, is to still have Stone Cold involved in some way. They've been heavily promoting his podcast. As long as I'm sorry, as well as Chris Jericho's, and they've been doing like these little dailies with Stone Cold that are like 3 to 5 minute little videos about just something he wants to talk about or what's going on with him and that reality show he does, like that country kind of
his
kind of Survivor kind of show or whatever. I've watched it for like 30 minutes just because one girl had big boobs. And that's all I can think of it, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you. That's what kept me interested in it.
I'm
but
sure
anyway,
it kept a lot of people interested.
It probably did. It's on CMT, so there's not many viewers probably. And I've just pissed off a whole bunch of country fans. I'm a country fan myself, so before the five viewers get pissed off and just completely unfollow us and we do this for no one, let me just say that. But what do you think can even be a role of Stone Cold at this point? I mean, they already have a host. He can't wrestle. Like
I would like him to be a ref. I would love to see him ref the main event of Orton and Batista and hopefully Daniel Bryan, just to make sure the Authority, like Triple H, Kane, the Shield, whoever, cannot get involved, that we have that strong Authority presence like they always have Mankind or Stone Cold do it. I personally would love to see Stone Cold referee the main event match, just to make sure everything is fair and right down the middle.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea. Since we brought this topic up a couple days ago, I've been trying to think, and I really didn't see a spot for Stone Cold on this card. I mean, especially the only thing I could think of is if they were going to bring Punk back in any way. If there was a possibility, and I guess I will hold on to that until it's not a possibility because it's always going to be in our mind, because of the fact that they were kind of pushing for Stone Cold to have one last match and it was going to be against Punk. That would be the only other thing I could think of. I mean, anything else you do with him is just like, it's just promoting Stone Cold's there.
Well, I agree, but I actually think having him as the referee for that main event would make sense just because,
it really would.
Just because Daniel Bryan has been screwed over so much in the past.
Yes.
So, and what I could see doing it too is because they've always talked about how they wanted to have like a Triple H versus Vince, or Triple H and Stephanie versus Vince kind of storyline, and maybe if they could bring Vince back this way and he's a supporter of Daniel Bryan and he sees all the shenanigans that Triple H and them pull and he wants to put an end to it, and Vince appoints Stone Cold the referee. So kind of like making Vince a face with Daniel Bryan and bringing back Stone Cold. I could see that happening. I think that would actually be kind of cool.
No, yeah, I can definitely see that happening, and it makes a lot of sense actually. So I would.
Everything I said makes sense.
No, stop. Let's not get ahead of yourself. There's very, very few things that you come up with that I don't actually already have in my mind that I'll give you credit for. This is one thing I actually think you're actually right about.
I actually really just came up with this on the fly, like literally as soon as you asked it. I'm trying to think of what he could do. I'm like,
this was your question.
I know, isn't it? Because I've been.
This is what you brought to the table for this week's show.
Yep,
I figured you had a whole big thing about this.
I'm like Kobe Bryant. I just pull it out in the clutch, baby.
Oh God. Well, maybe I'll take out your knees and I can do this on my own from now on.
Okay, Tanya Harding.
All right. Well, that's gonna finish our big three for the day. Then we're gonna get into our big reviews for the week. Raw to start out. I didn't really love Raw again. There was a couple things.
There was parts I loved, yeah.
Yeah, there was. It had its moments, but it started off with Hulk Hogan again coming out, and he announced something really cool that I liked at first. The more I thought about it, I kind of was against it. But he announced that there's going to be a 30-man battle royal, and it's going to be called the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is really cool, and it has a trophy for someone, which I love. I loved back in the day when they had trophies in pro wrestling. I don't know why. It's just a cool kind of thing. I love trophies for some reason. But I think it's really
Jeff
cool.
always got the little participation trophy.
Yeah, I did, and you know what?
He was so happy, even though he lost.
I got one year when I was playing basketball, I got a little whistle. I love that whistle because I was the best hustler on the team. I was a fat, chubby kid doing whatever I could on that team, and I got my damn whistle.
Oh, you were a hustler.
I was a hustler. I was hustling before America Hustle even came out.
Oh, man.
But anyways, so they announced this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which is awesome because I love memorials too. I love when you get to kind of just remember someone from the past, especially someone as influential as Andre the Giant.
Yeah, and it's something WWE doesn't do very often.
Not at all.
Couldn't even tell you they do. I mean, obviously, Andre the Giant and the McMahon family have such a big history. I mean, it's a big part of Stephanie's history, Vince's history, Vince's father and all that. So it's nice to honor Andre the Giant. Very, very, very cool. The trophy was pretty cool. I know there was a rumor out there that the trophy was actually a big 7-foot gold statue of Andre the Giant, and that's not true. But I think that would be pretty cool. But the only thing that I will like about this is they do this every year at WrestleMania now, and it kind of replaces the Money in the Bank match that they always had at WrestleMania before they made it into a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So they kind of needed something like this to replace Money in the Bank. So I would like this to be a staple at WrestleMania every year, and pass the trophy down each year and put like little plaques on there for, 2014 so and so was the winner, 2015 da da da. So
yeah, I love the idea. I don't like two things about this. One is that it's a 30-man battle royal, which essentially is another Royal Rumble, honestly. And the reason I don't like it goes into my second idea is I feel they were just lazy. I feel they just didn't know what to do with the rest of the card for WrestleMania, which is now only 23 or now 22 days away, and it's just a way to get everyone's face on the card in some way.
That's how they usually do it, though. I mean, these guys want their payday, and this is the way to get their payday because it's really the only way that they can do it.
I get that, but it just seems kind of lazy to me that you just throw in another Royal Rumble. Really, I mean let's be honest. That's what this is.
But
this
that's
is
the thing,
the
though.
Royal
A lot
Rumble
of those
WrestleMania.
guys, your Kurt Hawkins and your JTGs and shit, they don't care because they're not going to make the card anyways. But hey, this is a way for them to make the card and get.
Well, no, obviously they don't care. I'm saying is that as a fan, because this WrestleMania card, if this wasn't WrestleMania, would you even buy it? Well, I mean, you have it because you have the network. But I'm saying, if you didn't have the network, would you, like, honestly,
yes,
would you buy
because
this
I
card?
buy WrestleMania every year no matter what, even when it was $70 with HD.
See, I used to be that way. I hadn't for the last couple of years. And this WrestleMania card is, if this is a SummerSlam, this is a good card. This isn't WrestleMania good. But that's for a whole other topic. Anyways, let's keep on going with Raw since we've only gotten to one part of the first segment so far. After Hogan announces that, John Cena came out. John Cena initially said that he wanted to put his hat into he wanted to be the first person to put his hat into the Memorial Rumble, so to speak. Then Bray Wyatt comes out. Bray Wyatt talks about he cuts a great promo talking about Hogan and Cena both acting like heroes and lying to the fans for all these years. And then Cena changes his mind and issues a challenge to Bray Wyatt. So we finally officially get Bray Wyatt versus John Cena for WrestleMania.
Well, not until later on.
That's true. Yeah.
SmackDown, he accepts it finally. Yeah. But then it turns into a match between Cena and Eric Rowan. Just a quick little match. It was nothing really special. Cena got a quick roll-up pin, and Hogan and Cena posed, celebrated in the ring, and that was it.
And then the Authority later on comes out. They talk about Daniel Bryan. They say that they need to say sorry to him, just because
he needs to say sorry to them.
Yeah, well, because it's right for business and whatever.
Yeah. Or he could potentially lose his job over it.
Yeah, blah blah blah. It just adds to at this point we don't know what's going on with with Triple H and Daniel Bryan, so it just kind of adds to Daniel Bryan having to be humble to management yet again. Then we get into later on Big E versus Jack Swagger. Big E gets a quick roll up, and then afterwards we see Cesaro and Swagger argue about the loss yet again.
Yeah, it's the typical stuff. They're building up to a match at. I mean, they might not even have a match at Mania because I think Big E just entered himself into the Battle Royal on SmackDown, so that takes him out of the triple threat match they planned on. So are they going to have a Cesaro Swagger match, or are they just going to both be in the Battle Royal? So I'm guessing both Battle Royal.
There better be double duty, because if there's not that match at WrestleMania, that's mind-boggling. And I absolutely hate it when you have your biggest show and not every title is on the line. That makes absolutely no sense to me, and it never will.
Yep, I agree with you. And I also want to point out that if Cesaro doesn't wrestle at WrestleMania, I'd be kind of pissed, because he's one of the best wrestlers, and I'd love to see him get his chance at WrestleMania to steal the show, because I love seeing the undercard guys just pour their heart out to try and steal the show.
Yeah. And then we had something that was weird. We had the Undertaker. Undertaker actually came out. He made an appearance. Had a promo with Paul Heyman, which Paul Heyman interrupted it. And it just was boring to me. It didn't do anything for the match. It just seemed like it was a time filler, and that's weird when you have the Undertaker come out and do something like that.
Yeah.
To me, it just had no purpose.
Well, they kind of teased that he was going to make a big announcement, and Paul Heyman came out and talked the whole time, and then Undertaker ended it with 2 sentences, and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, it was more Paul Heyman talking than Undertaker. It was
and it was great. Heyman's an awesome talker.
Oh yeah, he's
money. It's just, I agree with you. I would have expected a little bit more, but it was basically to say, you're going up against a streak. Or he's going up against a streak, but Brock's going to conquer it, kind of deal. And then Undertaker ends it by saying, the fear of death is strong, but the fear of the unknown is far greater. And of course, these two haven't fought. Brock hasn't gone against something like the streak before, so it's something that's
they have faced each other, but never
not at WrestleMania. Yeah. So that's what I was getting at.
Yeah. And then later on we have the Rhodes brothers versus Seth and Roman from the Shield. It was a really good match. I want you to talk about this, and I want to talk about what they're doing with Seth.
It was a pretty good match. A lot of back and forth. A lot of people said this was probably the best match of the night. Probably was. I agree. Definitely some good back and forth stuff. In the end, Seth got Cody and did a powerbomb into the corner and then hit the curb stomp for the win. Definitely, lately, last couple weeks, month or so, I think Seth Rollins has really been stepping up. I don't know if that's WWE booking him that way to make him look stronger for the split when they all three finally do split. I could see WWE doing that, but I also think Seth's just so damn talented, it's kind of hard not to notice him.
Seth, to me, is going into the Shield. Seth, to me, had the most potential out of all three of them. He's easily the best wrestler of all three. Roman has definitely stepped up his game in in-ring quality, and then Dean is Dean. Dean's been the same Dean that he's been since Moxley years and years ago. But I think you're right. I think this is WWE finally letting Seth do more stuff. And if you listen to like Cole on the mic or on announcing and everything, commentary, he always mentions that Seth is the architect of the Shield. And more so on SmackDown, I loved when all three members of the Shield were on the ring apron, and Seth is the one that kind of tells the other Shield members to get down. They're slowly making Seth the actual leader of the Shield, and with his in-ring ability getting even more and more involved, with him doing the curb stomp kind of thing and stuff like that, they're definitely making him a stronger a stronger member of the Shield than they were, like even months ago. So I love it. It's going to be very, very interesting once we see the split and we see where everyone goes with this, because it's going to be hit or miss. It really is. I'm actually a little bit scared for all three of these people. Maybe not so much with Roman, because they're going to have Roman.
Yeah. The only thing I can compare it to is when Evolution broke up, and it was like, okay, Orton and Batista, sink or swim.
Yeah, and I think with Dean and Seth, it's going to be sink or swim. I think
Roman's good off. Is very good off. He'll be fine. It's just Seth and Dean, just to see where their characters develop to. I think Dean is so good on the mic and everything, and he's got that crazy side to him. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I really like Seth. He's got great ring talent. I just don't know what kind of like character-wise he could do. And it's not that I don't think he has the talent to do it. I think WWE Creative is not smart enough to give him something.
That's the thing, and that's what worries me is he's got the talent. I mean, wrestling-wise, he's really awesome. I mean, if anyone,
like I could see him being another Miz or Dolph Ziggler. They'll have his shining moments, but then like WWE Creative is like, we got nothing for you.
Yeah, so it's gonna be weird and scary and exciting to see when that finally does happen. But yeah, Seth has definitely stepped it up. And then we go into one of the coolest Raw moments that I've seen in the past, and that's Daniel Bryan occupying Raw. He had hundreds of people either inside the ring or around the ring, all wearing his shirt, kind of like the Ultimate Yes movement, where they weren't going to leave until Triple H and Stephanie came out and gave Daniel Bryan his match with Triple H. And Triple H, it was a cool thing because they came out and they kept telling him, no, you're not getting it. And then they had Damian Sandow come out for a match to see, just like make the show keep going on. People weren't budging at all. They came back out. Triple H finally did agree to it, and then we got the moment we really wanted as fans when Daniel Bryan was like, yeah, but there's still something that I want even more, and the fans want, and that's for him to be put into the Mania main event if he can defeat Triple H at WrestleMania, and we got it finally.
Yeah, which was really cool to see. The whole segment was cool, just seeing all them fans chanting yes. Stephanie sent security guards out, and the security guards just looked and walked back up the ramp to like, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. And then Sandow did the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people I read were like praising Stephanie for this whole segment, like how much she came off as a bitch, and
she did.
And she
did.
Yeah.
She came off kind of like as like a not character person. Like she came off like as like almost as like it's a shoot or whatever.
Yeah, like she was just crazy and saying like, we need to get this show going like now. Get out of my ring. This is my ring. This is my family's ring, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people were praising Stephanie for her role on that, which was cool.
Yeah, the whole segment was done great. I loved it.
Yeah, it was
almost a Raw in a long time.
Yeah, definitely. So it was definitely cool to see that us, the fans, got what we wanted with Daniel Bryan. So now, I mean, I don't want to say the pressure's on Daniel Bryan, but
it is.
I mean, it is, yeah, but it's like, but I know this guy's so damn good, he's gonna deliver.
Yeah, it's not really. I mean, the pressure's on him, but it's like it's gotta be frustrating to know that the pressure's also on because let's face it, he's gonna beat Triple H, most likely. Like, I don't see how he doesn't.
They wouldn't make the stipulation. Yeah, they wouldn't make the stipulation with him if he beats Triple H, he gets put in the main event.
Yeah,
they
he's
wouldn't
somehow going to do it.
Yeah.
But then what is Orton and Batista do in the main event that's going to make the match special?
Well, I think Bryan can carry people a little bit, so I think he's got that going for him, that he can carry these guys a little bit. But like you said, the pressure is on him. I think he can deliver. But my thing is, me and you have talked about this in the past, like, I think even last year for a fact, we both had so high expectations for this, and it doesn't meet your expectations.
No, it never does. It's like you
so
really
that's the thing with these people that love Daniel Bryan and just, so starstruck for him. They're going to expect, like, the greatest match they've ever seen in their lives, and they're probably not going to get it. Not because Daniel Bryan can't do it, because of his opponents.
Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they actually do the whole thing at WrestleMania of where they put the matches on the card and whatever. And then the last couple things for Raw, we first had another Sheamus versus Christian match. This time the fans got to vote. They voted for a Memphis Street Fight. And take it away.
Okay, so Jeff didn't like this match at all. I thought it was okay. It was just a kind of a gimmick match. I liked the ending. Christian picked up a drum, a big bass drum on the outside, and he went to hit Sheamus with it, but Sheamus kicked his foot through the drum, and it kicked Christian right in the face. And they did the slow-mo replay, which was really cool. You could see his foot go right through the damn drum and kick Christian right in his jaw. So it was, like, done absolutely perfect on that part. Sheamus got the win. Jeff doesn't like it because they're probably going to have a WrestleMania match, and they've fought like 17 times already in the last 3 weeks.
It's not that I don't like the match. It was an entertaining match, and it was probably one. I mean, they always have. It's not that they don't have chemistry, because they do have chemistry, but this match better not be on WrestleMania anymore, because who gives a shit now?
Yeah,
like,
you've seen it like 7 times
now. Yeah, it's like for WrestleMania, you want to keep people away, so it's like it just builds and builds and builds.
Well,
and you finally get the match. I don't care about this match anymore. I could care less about them fighting again, ever. And yet we're going to see it probably even again before WrestleMania.
Well, I think with this new Battle Royal, okay, when you watch a Royal Rumble, it usually takes 50 minutes to an hour to do the Royal Rumble, if not more. They're gonna need some time. They're gonna have to cut a little bit of some time. So I could see a match like that being just completely cut, and those two just being added into the Royal Rumble. They're gonna need star power in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but I think also they're gonna maybe do double duty a little bit with some people.
Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, my point is, it was an entertaining match. It was a cool moment to see with the drum. I'm just beyond. Like, I don't understand why they have this match over and over again, and especially if they're going to put it on WrestleMania card. It's just really stupid booking in my part. And then the main event was Orton and Batista taking on Daniel Bryan and Big Show.
I wasn't too thrilled with this.
No, whenever they add Big Show and Batista in matches lately, it's just not fun. It's just Batista is getting a little bit better. I'll give him that credit. But Big Show's done, guys. Like, and I loved Big Show. I'm a big WCW fan, and I loved him as the Giant. He's just done. He's just really slow in the ring. I mean, he's very comparable now to Andre, where Andre's career went. I mean, he's obviously not at the same spot as Andre was at the end, but he's getting there. And the match itself just wasn't that great. Big Show and Daniel Bryan ended up getting the win. But that's all there is really to it. There really wasn't. Yep. There's really not much to talk about that main event.
Yep.
And then we get into SmackDown, where Triple H starts off the show. He talks about how he's the one that's going to end this whole Yes movement. He talks more about how he was trying to protect Daniel Bryan. And he kind of just like he goes from like COO Triple H to the game Triple H, and then back to COO Triple H. So it's kind of interesting to see how he goes from one character to the other. So it'll be fun to see how they keep this hype going into WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan. He also makes Sandow versus an unnamed opponent right at that moment, because Sandow kind of went against management by not going into that ring on Monday with the whole Yes movement, which he really couldn't. And he then ends up having to face Seth Rollins.
Yeah, and it was a decent match. It was nothing too spectacular. But once again, Seth kind of proved himself again, showed that he's really stepping up and, giving the fans, hey, I'm talented too. So I like that. I like that about it.
Yeah, I like again, me being a big Seth fan, I really liked. I really like that Seth is getting more and more exposure as being a player. What I don't like is that Damien Sandow, since losing the Money in the Bank to Cena, is just like a nobody again. And
well,
that really...
It's like that with a lot of people.
I know, it just bugs me because it's like...
Look at Miz, Dolph,
yeah,
I can go on and on.
It's like they will keep pushing some people that just blows our mind because they're not talented. They're just there for like maybe a funny kind of role or something. And then the people that actually have talent, they're real behind, and then they all of a sudden they just drop them completely.
Okay, and how about Darren Young and Titus O'Neil? I haven't seen them since the pay-per-view.
Oh, we kind of predicted that, didn't we?
Yep. I mean, not like I care. I don't want to see them anyways. But
no, but that's exactly what we thought was going to happen. But anyways, yeah, Seth got the win, and he looked strong again. I believe he did that curb stomp yet again to Damien Sandow to get the win. And then we have Real Americans versus Goldust and Cody. Again with these, it's repetitive, but these are two really good teams, and it's always fun to watch. Goldust and Cody win with the backslide for the win. And then there's some more arguing.
Yeah, they just kind of argued. It's just teasing more of a split again. Like one of these two, these two guys going to finally split. So that's basically all it was.
Yeah, and this time without Big E involved, so maybe it really is just going to be those two at WrestleMania, and Big E is going to be left off, which will piss me off, but...
well, Big E is confirmed for the Rumble, or the Battle Royal.
Yeah, the Memorial. And then Bray and Kofi have a match, which Kofi got some pretty strong offense at first, but Bray obviously is not going to lose at this point to Kofi Kingston, and he ends up winning. But good showing by both men. I really do enjoy Kofi's work. He just doesn't ever stick out really.
Well, he's a good wrestler. He's just not believable. It's like they always complain about, this guy's too small. Well, I think Kofi is too small. He's just not a believable champion. Kind of what I think of what they go with the Vince's philosophy. Yeah,
and Kofi's the kind of guy that would extremely benefit with a cruiserweight title being thrown in there.
No, we don't need to argue about that. No. We both want to see that, but who knows? I doubt it. I doubt they'd ever do it again.
Yeah. I hope they do, but it doesn't look likely. Then we have the women kind of part of the show. AJ was on commentary, and we have Nikki Bella versus Tamina, which was an okay match.
I thought it was a very good match for what we've seen from women's wrestling in WWE lately. I thought it was a very solid match. Nikki looked better. She's been, coming off her injury from however long ago. They always build up Tamina as like, the security guard, not security guard, but the bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
Big girl, tough. That kind of person doesn't lose a lot, and it seems like Tamina loses every time I see her.
Yeah.
So it's like it just makes it not very believable.
I don't know if what they're planning on doing is Tamina to finally.
I was like, I'm waiting for like her to turn on AJ, which always happens in this storyline role.
Yeah.
Whenever they do this kind of role with anybody, but it's like. But what are you going to do? Are you going to have Tamina win, though? It's like she just doesn't make a believable champion because you've made her lose so many times. So many times.
And apparently Nikki is the new number one contender before this match even started.
Yeah, and AJ even pointed it out on commentary, which I thought was funny. She's like, Michael Cole was like, so what do you think about Nikki Bella being the number one contender? Yeah. He asked, who do you think is the number one contender? Is it Nikki Bella or this? And he's like, AJ was like, well, Naomi was supposed to be the number one contender, so you guys figure it out and I'll meet him in the ring.
Yeah.
Which I thought was great. So
yeah, it's like they have no idea what they're doing. It's
props to AJ for throwing it in WWE's face. I love it.
And she does do that quite a bit. Like that's the one thing that I'll give credit about.
That's the CM Punk coming on.
Yeah, like she really does kind of like do those little pipe bomb kind of things where she doesn't really care. And people sometimes have philosophies on if that is going to derail her, but it really hasn't yet. So, I mean, because honestly, what do they have? This division sucks, and no one can tell me otherwise, really.
Well, like you said, you don't even think she's that. I mean, she's a good wrestler, but she's not like.
No, I mean, if she was in the Attitude Era, she wouldn't be in this role. But she is decent. But for what they have, she's one of the best that they have. And on the microphone, she is the best. Like, there's no one that can talk on the microphone as a female better than AJ Lee.
Yeah, I think the Divas division kind of lost a little bit when Caitlyn left, because I really like Caitlyn and what she brought.
Oh yeah, I mean Caitlyn. It's not like Caitlyn can make or break anything, but Caitlyn was thactually good.
Yeah, and, it was a good like rivalry feud because these two are best friends, so it just made it like a really good feud, and we never really got that great feud between them. They had the couple matches, and then that was kind of it.
Yeah. And then we go into what was, I would say, the best match of the whole week of anything. Yep. And that was Dolph Ziggler versus Del Rio. And it was really good. There was false finishes, but not too many where it's like you're bored with it. They both had a lot of their moments. They both got to put their signatures in. The philosophy in the match was great.
Yeah, I mean, whenever I watch a Del Rio match and he delivers one of those like super kicks, I mean, they just sound like the dude's jaw just snapped in half.
Yeah.
It's like every time, and Dolph sells it so damn well. It looks like because I hate to say it because he has had concussions before, and that was kind of one of the reasons of how he got a concussion before.
Yeah, it was.
But it's like every time he gets kicked in the head, I just think, oh my God, he's got a concussion because he sells it so well. But this match was frickin' awesome. It was one of my favorite matches of the week for sure. My favorite match of the week.
I mean, this was actually, I mean, it might be weird to say, but this is a candidate for match of the year almost.
I wouldn't put it where the other. I'd put it like maybe fourth or fifth. But.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't say the match of the year, but I'm saying like it's like for so far, this is in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, it's in the top 10 of this year for sure.
Yeah. And then we afterwards we had a moment with Dolph Ziggler where Dolph talks about the memorial. He puts his name into the memorial battle royal, and really, it gave me goosebumps hearing this. Just like he actually gave like an emotional, serious like just a couple minute interview with I think it was Renee Young, and it was like Dolph's moment. It was kind of like Dolph saying, like, I believed him when he was saying that he was going to win it, and it literally gave me some goosebumps. It was an awesome moment.
Oh, I love this. I mean, that was definitely my favorite two moments of this week was right here. His match, his promo. His promo was awesome, and I felt the same way as you did, and I'm so glad. I don't know if like whose doghouse he was in, but I hope this is behind him now. He's out of it, and I hope they let this motherfucker go win the Battle Royal, man.
You just dropped 2 F-bombs in 2 seconds. Awesome.
I don't care because it is his time.
It is, and I hope you're right. I hope this is the end of the burying of Dolph Ziggler. And we get to move forward now, and I hope he does win the Memorial. I hope this is the start. I hope he gets his WrestleMania moment, and it's the start of
he is my favorite to win. Yeah. I don't care if Andre the Giant comes back from the dead and is in this Royal Rumble. He is my favorite.
Yeah. Then we didn't get the next Hall of Fame inductee announced on Raw. We actually got it on SmackDown this week, which was a little bit odd, unless I just completely missed it on Raw, which I don't think I did.
No, I think it was announced on SmackDown.
Okay. But we get to see Carlos Colon go into the Hall of Fame, which congratulations to him. I'm going to be honest. I didn't watch any of his work. I don't know anything really. Well,
all of his stuff was in Puerto Rico pretty much, so.
Yeah, but I like to even know my history even there. And I know that he was a somebody, but I can't really say too much about him.
Well, like
all
they
I know
said,
is his offspring.
Yeah, in his promotion, WWC, in Puerto Rico. He was a 27-time world champion over there.
Man, people talk about...
Like they said, so...
Can you imagine if Jeff Jarrett was 27 times?
He should have been in TNA.
Yeah.
But actually, no, he shouldn't have been. Let me put that back. He should have been a one-time world champion and never lost a damn thing. He should have held it. He should have broke Bruno Sammartino's record.
Maybe the company would be in better shape, huh?
It couldn't be much worse.
It can't be much worse. Oh gosh.
I love Jeff Jarrett. I hope Jeff Jarrett listens to our podcast one day.
I hope he does. And I hope his new promotion, whatever it's going to be, turns out to be awesome.
I hope it's called JSW, Jurassic Slap Ass Wrestling.
That's better than TNA, actually. And then we have ending the show on SmackDown. We had a couple last segments. The first one being the Wyatt promo. Bray Wyatt had an awesome promo. I love his promos so much. Every single time it delivers. Like every once in a while there's one that's not that good, but 9 out of 10 times it delivers. And he starts this one by saying, "I don't sleep, but I'm always dreaming," and it's just awesome. Just his philosophy. It's like it's totally Raven. Like you can't tell me that Raven isn't someone he looks at when he's doing these promos, because
I would
the mind psychology is crazy with Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I would love to. I know you go to the Comic-Cons and stuff. I'd love to go to a Comic-Con if he's there and ask him that.
Yes, and like I do go to the Comic-Cons. I didn't go the last year because it was headlined by Sheamus, and we know that we're not going to go see Sheamus. But if he's there at this one, because I don't really like even when Punk was there, I went and I took like a quick picture of Punk, but I didn't actually pay like $50 for his autograph. I will pay $50 for Bray Wyatt's autograph just so I can actually ask him.
Yeah, you could sell it on eBay and get $150 for it right now.
Yeah, you really could. But yeah, it was an awesome promo. He always does awesome work. And
there's not much more I can add to that.
Yeah, it's not. No, I already did amazing work.
Let's quickly talk about this thing they call the main event.
Oh my gosh, we have Kane versus Big Show. Is this 1999 again? This match really looked like two old men, because especially with Kane, like being just in his wife beater and like his buzz cut, it really looked like two just old men just going at it.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. Big Show obviously got the win. At the end, Kane tried to attack Seth Rollins. He pulled him into the ring, tried to choke slam him. Roman Reigns speared him, and then they just kind of, I believe they beat the crap out of him afterwards, or just posed over him, one or the other.
Yeah. So there's not much to say. The only thing I liked about this was the fact that Seth was on the ring apron, like I talked earlier, and he kind of was telling the other members to not help out Kane.
Yeah.
So SmackDown overall was it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, better than Raw, I thought, overall. And then we get to NXT for the week, which we're going to talk just quickly about a little bit of everything on NXT, just because it's only a 1 hour show. We started off with Paige versus Sasha Banks, which I thought was an okay match. I don't think Sasha's that good of talent, but it was cool to see Paige apply that. What do they call it again? The Scorpion.
Crosslock.
Yeah, Scorpion Crosslock. So it was just cool to see that.
Yeah, I think that was the highlight of the match. I love Paige. I like Sasha and Charlotte and Summer Rae's whole
Charlotte was out
group.
there. Then Natalya also came out at the end as well.
Yeah, I like their whole little group. So I want to see more of that BFF group. I hope they bring Summer Rae back down to do some more stuff with them, because I really think they could be pretty cool on NXT.
I do, but I don't think that they will. I think
Summer's going to be more focused on the total.
Yeah, like I think they should just drop the whole BFF thing, because or bring another person in.
Exactly, they should bring in somebody else.
Yeah. So. Then we have the Ascension versus two
scrubs.
We'll just say two scrubs. Even the announcers didn't give them much credit at all, and it was honestly a squash. I don't know if they even got it.
Squash match. Ascension won next.
Yeah. Next we have Mason Ryan.
Mason Ryan versus Scrub next.
Mason Ryan versus another jobber-like person. Mason Ryan now dons pretty long hair. He still looks like Batista, and there was still a chant of better than Batista still with Mason Ryan. Mason Ryan gets the win because he's big. And then we have Xavier Woods versus Rusev. But before that, Breeze came out, and then him and Woods kind of attacked each other. It was kind of just like at a rival. And then Rusev came out and just demolished Woods again. I mean, that's basically all it is. And then for the main event, we had Bo Dallas and Colin Cassidy face off, and both actually did it was
a really solid match.
Yeah, it was definitely the best match of the night. Obviously, I mean, they didn't really give you much this week on NXT, honestly.
Yeah, it was just like matches, couple quick promos, boom. But that's pretty much all it's gonna really be.
Yeah.
But I definitely like Colin Cassidy. Definitely he's solid for a big man.
Yeah, I go back and forth on him.
Yeah, he is athletic. He's got a lot of charisma. So I definitely like him. I think he's got potential. I don't see like world heavyweight champion potential, but I could see like intercontinental U.S. title potential, or being like a big man in a tag team with like maybe a smaller guy.
Yeah. And they also, I just want to make a quick note that they also announced that in 2 weeks Bo Dallas is going to face off again for his rematch with Adrian Neville.
Yeah, and Bo did really good tonight on NXT too. So.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He definitely had a solid match there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to let you take Lockdown review, because I actually did not watch Lockdown, but you did, as our resident TNA expert.
I watched the last hour.
Yes. So how about you go through what you thought of?
So I'm not going to announce every match. Like, if you want to know every match, like, just Google search it, because I really don't feel like talking about it. But the important stuff: Samuel Shaw beat Mr. Anderson. Gunner beat James Storm. Magnus beat Samoa Joe, and Magnus won from. This is actually when I started watching. Joe hit the Muscle Buster from the top rope, and all of a sudden, this fucking hand comes out of the ring, and you're like, what the hell is this thing? And it grabs Joe and pulls him under the ring, and it looks like it's just like a big, giant, like, sinkhole. It just, like, pulled Samoa Joe in, and so you're wondering who it is, and then at the end, it shows that it's Abyss, and it allows Magnus to get the win after Abyss hits Samoa Joe with Janice, the little spiked paddle thing. And then Team Dixie versus Team MVP. Jeff Hardy was banned from the arena. Dixie said that she will not let Jeff Hardy in this arena because he left and voided his contract. So, and that all happened. So you got down to the final person to come in, and everyone thought it was going to be Jeff Hardy, but it ends up being Willow. And the
Your favorite wrestler.
The lights go out, and he's on top of the cage, and he does the Jeff Hardy, cross body off the thing. Oh my God! And then this fucking retard fucking gets up, and he fucking runs over. There's a hole in the cage where they've put the camera, so the camera can look through without looking. And this freaking retard sticks his head through the freaking cage right at the camera and goes, hee. I'm like, dude, I just want to punch you in the fucking face. Get the fuck off my TV. I fucking hate Jeff Hardy and everything he stands for. He's fucked up so many times he can go fuck himself.
Now, we can get away with 3 to 5 F-bombs, but I think like 7 or more, I think it's not safe for work.
Fuck that fucking fuck.
All right, and then we get into Impact after that glorious lockdown, which, by the way, a lot of people thought that lockdown show was historically bad.
Yeah, there was a picture on, like, Facebook of showing the opposite side of the camera side. Like, they had the first 5 rows, and that was it.
Yeah, it looked pathetic. Like, oh
like they should just move to Europe and do all their shows over there.
Yeah, because they enjoy it more than the U.S. does. Oh, all right. So we start off Impact with
I can't
MVP.
believe that retard stuck his head through the cage and went,
We start off Impact
I
with
wanted
MVP.
to punch him in the throat.
Gosh. MVP comes out, and he is now... Well, okay, did you even talk about the end? You didn't talk about the end, did you?
No, but Bully Ray comes out, or Dixie comes out, makes Bully Ray the special ref. They have some deal, I guess, and in the end, Bully Ray screws over Dixie's team and allows MVP's team to get the win.
Which gives MVP now control.
Okay, yeah, now continue.
Yeah, and then now we go into Impact, where MVP comes out, talks about having control, talks about wanting to do the right thing for the wrestlers. Magnus comes out, talks about how he's the champion still and whatever, la-di-da. Then he introduces Abyss as, I guess kind of like his bodyguard. Abyss comes out wearing this weird trench coat and this like almost like Kane mask, like New Age kind of Kane mask. So he kind of looks like Mankind and Kane as one. It's just real weird. Then Samoa Joe comes out. He's all calm but raging at the same time. And MVP grants Joe a match next week versus Magnus for the title, and says Joe gets his revenge against Abyss right now. So Joe and Abyss happens. It's really just a brawl of these two. Abyss wins, but only because Eric Young comes out and interferes and tries to beat the crap out of Abyss too. Which later on you see kind of a backstage segment with Samoa Joe and Eric Young where Joe's like, you get a pass this time for getting involved in my match, but don't ever do it again. And then Eric Young tells him, well, I just talked to MVP, and we're going, like, Eric Young and Abyss are going to be chained together for next week's world title match. It's the weird gets more bizarre and bizarre here in TNA land.
It's comedy hour.
It really is. We were laughing when we were watching the show.
All right, just go next.
Yeah, Bully Ray then arrives, and Spud, EC3, the Bromance, they're talking crap to him, saying that he cost them the match and everything, and he's going to pay, and then they beat him down. Then we see Sam Shaw backstage talking to someone. He keeps mentioning Chrissy, so we're thinking it's actually Chrissy Hemme that he's talking to.
Or someone named Chrissy.
It was not. Willow.
He does these stupid fucking promos in the fucking back, like twirling his fucking umbrella that I want to open up inside of his ass and fucking open it just so it. Oh my god, I fucking hate him.
Okay. And then EC3 and Spud come out next to honor Dixie. They have a huge. First of all, okay, I have to mention this because in the beatdown of Bully Ray, they grab. They grab this cardboard sign that's kind of like, I think, just like the rundown of the show for the actual wrestlers in the back. And they beat Bully up with it like it's supposed to hurt. It's honestly styrofoam. Like, but Bully Ray sells it. Then we get into this.
They're so cheap they can't even afford like steel.
We get into the Dixie honoring thing with EC3 and Spud. MVP comes out and he actually brings out Bobby Lashley. And then he announces that it's going to be Bobby Lashley versus EC3 for next week. And EC3 freaks out. Bobby Lashley looks dumbfounded, like always, because that's just how Bobby Lashley is. But then we have.
We forgot to announce Lashley. We forgot to announce Lashley came back at Lockdown. By the way.
Oh, we did forget that. He did come back. Bobby Lashley is back in TNA to save TNA. But then Bobby Lashley beats up Spud with this other foam sign. So
yeah, it was the Dixie photo, and it was like cardboard.
Yes, it's just a Dixie Carter oversized picture. So apparently, chair shots are no good in TNA anymore. They need cardboard
they can't afford chairs. I don't think.
I don't think so.
They probably cut that out of the budget.
Then we have Sam Shaw versus Anderson in a street fight.
Sam Shaw comes out with a mannequin with red hair and a pink shirt, and it's just the top half of the mannequin. There's
it's not a full mannequin. It's just the top half.
So there's a rumor going around that TNA is doing what ECW did, and they purchased full mannequins, but just the top half. They didn't buy just the heads like Al Snow did. They bought full half ones. And they're going to sell them, and everyone's going to wave them around. And
like
the
they just don't care.
Yep.
Oh, and then Anderson kisses this mannequin, which enrages Sam Shaw. How dare he touch his mannequin of Chrissy Hemme, and hits the mic check, gets the win.
Yeah, and then he does because he didn't do his whole Anderson bit before the match, so he does it after the match. And then the best part is he takes the frickin' mannequin at the end for the second Anderson part and, like, stares it right in the eyes as he's doing it. Anderson is so awesome. I love him.
He's very entertaining. Then we have, earlier in the night, we saw that Angelina Love was actually back in TNA. She kind of interrupted Jeremy Borash while he was doing like a little segment backstage, and then she finally came out to the ring, asked Velvet to come out, was talking about how she missed TNA, and there was at one point in her career where she didn't think she would ever come back to TNA, which is legit. She really hated the way that she was treated in TNA to a certain degree, but she says she's grown up, and she wanted to reunite with Velvet as the beautiful people.
Yeah, so that was cool. See her come back. She said Velvet didn't really know what if she wanted to get back together because this is kind of all just thrown at her right then and there. So she was going to think about it. So that's kind of where we left off with them.
Yeah, and all throughout the night, basically, Bully Ray was kind of reattacking everyone that attacked him. It was very comical the way that he attacked the bromance and the whole show just the way that everything happened was just very comical.
Yep.
It's just ridiculous. And then
oh, Jesus Christ!
I'm going to take this because I think we've had too many F-bombs for the night. We have Spud versus Willow for the main event, which actually got announced in that maybe it wasn't the first segment. No, it was during the honoring Dixie when Spud was out there. Spud is basically got turned into a wrestler now and not just a lap dog like he was being chanted throughout the night. And he faces off against Willow. Willow, they're doing like a thing like with Goldust where they kind of have like a special kind of graphic where it's like everything's blurred on the outside of your screen while Willow comes out and came out with his umbrella.
Well, the other thing I want to mention is during when he came out, they announced that this is indeed Jeff Hardy as his alter ego Willow. So they are announcing the fact that it is Jeff Hardy,
which they didn't do at Lockdown. They were just doing comparisons, from what I understand.
Well, they might have. I don't know.
Okay. But anyways, yeah. So Spud versus Willow in the actual main event, I guess you could say. Nah. Did Bully actually fight Rude?
Yeah, it was. They brawled.
Was it an actual match though?
No, it was just a brawl.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, so the actual main event was Spud versus Willow. Willow, and like they said, they're mentioning that this is Jeff Hardy's alter ego. They're mentioning that this is a more aggressive, angry Jeff Hardy. Talking about how like Spud cost Jeff Hardy the world title a couple months back. So this is basically Jeff Hardy's way of being a heel, I guess, is having this alter ego as Willow. Yeah, Willow gets DQ'd because he uses the umbrella and he just runs in the corner and then slams the umbrella against Spud's gut, and it's weird, creepy, which is all Willow is creepy and weird. And that's where we leave off, and he leaves. Bully comes down. They have a little bit of a stare down, and then Bully and Rude kind of just brawl it out, and Bully powerbombs Rude right through a table and kind of just stands over him a little bit, yelling at him, and that's where we end this show.
Yeah, thank God.
Yes.
So
TNA is as bad as it has ever been.
Yes. So, all right. Well, that's going to be it for our show this week, I think.
I think so.
Okay. Well, we will be back next week. Talk some more about WrestleMania. Card should be shaping up some more, I would guess. I'd like to maybe talk about, is Sting already signed next week?
See, and I'd like to just say that that's a dead horse. topic at this point.
You never know. So
unless we have a big update coming on, I think we're gonna let that be until we get closer to WrestleMania.
Well, he needs to be at WrestleMania, or I'm not going to be very happy.
You're not going to be very happy, regardless, at WrestleMania, I have a feeling.
Yeah, we'll see. But all right, yeah, follow us at The Rope Break on Twitter, The Rope Break on Facebook, and YouTube.
On YouTube, and tell your friends. Let's get this going, folks.
Yeah, I'm actually going to tweet this to Mick Foley, because I know Mick Foley actually listens to people's podcasts and stuff, so maybe I'll see if Mick likes to hear my Willow rant. All right, we'll see you guys next week.